Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 110th episode of the Retrotopia podcast. My name's Alan, and once again we are diving into the lore-heavy world of the RPG and discussing Dragon Quest III, or Dragon Warrior 3, depending on where you are in the world. Now, I had never played a Dragon Quest game before in my life, so I was very interested in playing this one. And as it turns out, we kind of took a bit of a multi-dimensional approach to this episode. I played the original NES version, emulated of course, because we never got that one over here. And the boys, they played the 2D HD remake. So we kind of got a bit of an angle from two different sides on this one, which was completely unplanned. You know, it makes us sound sophisticated that we did it this way, but purely accidental, I assure you. That being said, if you are only here to listen to Dragon Quest III talk, then, you know, I'll tell you what, if you have the MP available, use the Zoom spell to just teleport yourself about 25 minutes down the road there, and you should get to the episode proper. That being said, I encourage you to stick around because we're going to go through our little intro here, talk to some Patreons, play a little game, and it's generally a good time. So stick around and have some fun with us. Before we do that, though, of course, I've got to get all of our plugs, all of our socials, all of that good stuff out of the way. So, linktree/Retrotopia is where you can find all things Retrotopia. You can find our social medias. You can come and join, share, like, all of that good stuff. Share the word of Retrotopia to all of your nerdy friends, and let's get some more ears on this show. You can find our TeePublic or Dashery page, whichever may be. I've never really figured out which one's which, but our merch is there on the Linktree. So come and check out some of our designs. They're all really, really cool. You can also find our Patreon, which at the basic tier is free to join. You get access to most of our bonus content, including Quick Play, which is our quick mini review show where either Sam, Brian, or myself will pick a game and talk about it for about 20 minutes or so. You know, just these little games without the meat for a full episode of the show. You can find our Retro Bites. Well, I say our, that is Brian and Joe Fettuccine's baby over there. And they talk about, well, just about anything gaming related. It's a great time. You get that 15 days early with an extra topic added on there. So don't we just spoil you? You can also comment on the show to the host of your choice, or the host of our choice, as it turns out, because we decide which one of us introduces this show. So, yeah, write into us in our 9-bit banter box. You can comment on the game in question. You can vote in polls, which we actually have one going on at the moment for an upcoming 5x5x5, which is a format we haven't done in a while. That should be a good time. And what else? Well, you can join our $2 hero tier if you like, which will not only allow you to pick a quick play game and throw it at and I was doing so well. Throw it at a host of your choice. There we go. And you can also have access to our New Game Plus series, which is kind of a modern gaming show that we do roughly on a monthly basis. Obviously, this being a retro game show, we don't really get the opportunity to talk about modern games very much, so we do it all there. Another thing you get at the hero tier level, of course, is a shout out in the intro, and we have one this week, so a big Retrotopia thank you to Sharkbite, our newest hero tier member. Thank you, buddy. We love you. Of course, something that is available to Patreons of any level is the 9-bit banter box, where you get to fire questions in at the host of the week. And we let you do that because we are very culturally elegant. Alright, so first up on the box this week, we've got Blue Yoshi 94, who says, for some reason, yellowness. Alrighty. Alan, please come up with 5 fake country names. Here are my 5. 1, Indikistan. 2, Banama. 3, Hoi World. 4, Japan. And 5, Hoenn. You can't fool me, Blue Yoshi 94. Hoenn is already a place. That's from Pokemon. I know that much. The other 4 are absolutely fake. I've never heard of those before in my life. God, okay. five rather place names. I don't know. Merkinton, Bryantropolis, Jammy Dodgerington, Badger, and Underpantistan. I don't know. I mean, why put me on the spot with something like this? Underpantistan. Not sure about that one, but I certainly would like to live in Bryantropolis, because that sounds like a wonderful place to live. Okay, thank you very much, Yoshi. Dylan Jacobson comes in with the big question. Almost Thanksgiving time here in the States, so it's time for an important food question. Turkey or ham? Before I answer the question, happy Thanksgiving. This episode will come out after Thanksgiving, but I'm recording the intro before Thanksgiving, so I guess happy Thanksgiving to all of you American friends out there, and I hope you had a good time. I hope you're all fat and guilty, and just remember, if you're anything like me, we're getting old now. Just take care of that indigestion, because I know after Christmas I am suffering for it. But genuinely hope you had a good time. Turkey or ham? Ham. And it's not even a difficult question. I like turkey, but turkey kind of relies on whatever you've got with it. I mean, turkey's good, but it can be a little bit bland. It really relies on the sides there. Ham, I think you could just have on its own, and it's delicious. Especially if we're talking like those big joints of gammon, just, with all the juices and everything. Oh, God, I love gammon. Particularly if you've soaked the ham in rum, that's a good time. That is a good. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Oh, rum ham. Hoolie's Gang of Thugs says, "Hi, Alan. How are you today?" I'm good, Hoolie. Thank you very much. It's that time of year, and for the last couple of weeks, I've been suffering with a near fatal bout of man flu. You parents out there, you know what it's like. Our child has recently started up preschool, and that is the equivalent of sending your child into Raccoon City. So she is coming back with everything and giving it to us, which is delightful. So yes, I have not been well, which is predominantly why we had to cancel last week's episode and go with a backup. And I'd like to take the opportunity to shout out the guys there, because I told them to just go ahead and dive into True Lies without me, but no, they said they're not going to leave a man behind. They know how much time and effort I put into that game, and said no problem, we'll reschedule it for when you can do the episode. So a lot of love for those guys. Really knows how to make a guy feel special. But yes, I'm fine, thank you, Hoolie. How are you? Brother Retro says, Alan, my boy. So, funnily enough, the only Sega system I grew up with was the Saturn. We only had a handful of games, but I remember thinking it was so cool, even though I was a Nintendo kid. As a collector, this is now the only system I don't own from my childhood, and I'm ready to change that. So give it to me straight. What is the top 5 must-haves for the system, not based on value, but purely based on quality of the game? Price doesn't matter, I'll add it to the list. Keep the amazing work, my friend. Thank you, Brother Retro. Now, I did have a Sega Saturn for a period growing up. We never had all that many games for it, so a lot of my opinions are kind of based on... Some are based on games that I played, and some are based on games that I just really wanted to get my hands on. That said, Fighting Vipers is a game that I've actually just picked up. Excuse me, and... I'm really looking forward to playing that again, because me and my brother played that loads, and as you know, I'm not really much of a fighting guy, but Fighting Vipers was just an all-round good time. I would pick that over something like Virtua Fighter. So Fighting Vipers, Guardian Heroes, almost certainly. That's a very cartoony, side-scrolling beat-em-up that, again, we just played to death, and it was amazing. What else? I would say it's probably not a popular choice, but I really enjoyed Nights into Dreams. on the Sega Saturn. I think it's a perfect example of just how fucking bonkers Sega could be with their IPs, and I genuinely enjoyed that game. Again, that's another one I've picked up not long ago, and I haven't dived back in to see if it holds up, but just so unique, such a unique game. What's that? That's 3. I'm tempted to put Sonic Jam in there because I am a Sonic guy, and it is all of the Sonic games, or at least all of the early Sonic games, but with a really good sort of museum mode set around it, which is playable in itself, which is, again, another good time. Excuse me. See, I'm not all the way there. Alright, I'll say Sonic Jam just because I have to. Either that, or you probably want one of the arcade races, like, was it Daytona? I think it was Daytona. And you know me, I don't like races as well, but those games are just really technically impressive on the system. And, fuck, what was I going to say? Oh, something like Panzer Dragoon or Panzer Dragoon Saga, which is prohibitively expensive at this point, but universally hailed as perhaps the best game on the system there, and I really want to find out why. So, sight unseen and never played, I'm going to say Panzer Dragoon Saga. I'm going to jump on that bandwagon because that many people can't be wrong, right? Yeah, I guess. Thank you, Brother Retro. Philip, my mouth would fart, says, "Hi Alan, I was wondering if you think we're becoming a little spoiled as gamers. I mean, back in the 90s we got maybe 1 or 2 games per year. 3 if you were lucky and your parents had a little bit of money. Now we can go on our subscriptions and get access to thousands of games, and we don't appreciate what we get because if it doesn't grab us, we can just play something else instead of sticking it out and playing the game we have. Conversely, when new games are announced for our subscriptions, we get angry because X game was not added." Yeah, I suppose we are a little bit spoiled as gamers. I'll agree with that. The thing is, though, I look back and I think about, we did get a not unreasonable amount of games as kids. Our parents did really well for us, but yeah, you kind of did get the game that you got, and that was all you had to play. And if it sucked, you kind of made the most of it. I don't begrudge people for having the choice these days because you kind of do want better for the next generation, right? And it just gives you the opportunity to try so many more games, so many indie games and things like that. You can really you don't have to just play a game that you're not enjoying just because it's there, you have the opportunity to say, you know what, my time is precious, I'm going to move on to something else, and eventually you'll find something you really do like. And I love the wealth of games that are available at the moment, so I like that aspect of it. I don't approve of people getting angry because certain games weren't added, because that really is just looking a gift horse in the mouth, right? It's like, with so many games available, I mean, don't be pissy just because one you want isn't there. I guarantee you'll find something that you will enjoy. Just look around and just stop moaning. Like, that is the one downside of it. You don't know what it was like back in the 90s, and if you did, I guarantee you wouldn't be complaining about what games you have or haven't got now, because you know what? It's drought to drowning. So fucking grow up. Thank you, Philip. And Sergeant Hombre says, "Hi Alan, can you start narrating some of the books I'm interested in? Hearing your sultry voice might make me actually listen to some audiobooks, and it would clear up my backlog of books I want to read/listen to. Alternatively, I'll happily set up a video call for you to read to me too." Thank you, Sergeant Hombre. That's really nice of you, and I will now consider adding a Patreon level that includes a video call, because that sounds like a good little side hustle there. I mean, it's probably the worst kept secret, but I have been working on an audiobook, actually, and it's all finished. It's just going through Amazon's checks before it's properly released, and of course, when it is, I will let you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a book that you're interested in, but I think it's a really good little read. It's called Half Made Up by James Dunlop. And it was genuinely a good time to not only narrate, but read myself. Nice little kind of race against time mystery thriller. terrorists have the bomb, got to do something about it, but don't really want to. It's a great little story. So obviously I'll let you know when that comes out and you can listen to it. And there's my shameless plug of the episode. Thanks, Sergeant Hombre. If you take the plunge when it comes out, let me know. Let me know what you think. I'd be really interested in that. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for writing in, and we gotta get to our next little section, which is, of course, our very own, very special Retrotopia game show. That's right, it's choose one, lose one. You all know the score, so let's get down to ruining Sunday.
Ladies and gentlemen,
First up, we've got Yoshi94 who says, I want to be in Smash Bros, please, and me
You pick a
all
power,
other
we
Smash
pick a
Bros
consequence. It's choose one, lose one. The
kind of an
game
easy
where
one, Yoshi.
everyone's a
Because
loser.
yes, you can be in Smash Bros. You can meet all the other Smash Bros characters, but it's a fighting game, dude. So they're all gonna try and beat you up. And I don't know, buddy. I don't fancy your chances against some of those guys. Maybe you could take Pikachu. I think you could probably take Pikachu. Everyone else, though, you're in for a rough time. So yes, you get beaten up endlessly in Smash Bros. Brother Retro says, give me a big old power shield. The power shield from Dragon Quest, if I remember, allows you to cast heal on yourself. So, okay, you can have a big old power shield, and you can take it into battle, and every time you get injured, you can use it to heal yourself. Not even necessarily just in battle, you can just use it to heal yourself in your day-to-day life. Problem is that it's only going to work while you're carrying the shield, and as soon as you put the shield down, every injury that you have sustained up until that point will suddenly just reopen. All at the same time. My God, that's evil even for me. So yes, in order to keep feeling the effects of the power shield, you have to carry it with you all day long. You have to sleep with it. You have to carry it at work. You're never allowed to put the shield down, or else you'll basically explode. I don't know. Sergeant Ombre says, I just want to ride a dragon. All right, donkey, calm down. Okay, you just want to ride a dragon. You can ride a dragon, but they don't make saddles for dragons. They don't make saddles big enough, so you're going to have to ride that thing bareback. And let me tell you, the chafing is going to be absolutely unreal. So yeah, you're probably not going to be able to sit down for a solid week after that. In my head, it's something like, I don't know, like, what was that one in Harry Potter? The really nasty bugger. The Norwegian Ridgeback or whatever it was. Yeah, something really, really. Actually, no. Hoolie's Gang of Thugs says, I would like to be a fire-breathing dragon, please. You know what, Hoolie? You are the dragon that Sergeant Hombre is going to ride, and you are beholden to Sergeant Hombre's every whim. He can call on you whenever he likes and ride you as much as he pleases. And it sounds like you're never going to get a quiet moment there. So enjoy your life of servitude to Sergeant Hombre. And he's going to ride you. Have fun. And there you go. That's going to do it for another episode of Choose One, Lose One. Thanks for playing, guys. Alrighty, that's going to lead us into the Gentleman's Interlude. And this week, I can promise you more than just 3 words. Let's go.
In the grand tapestry of fantasy, Dragon Quest III stands as a luminous chronicle, its tale born in the ancient days of 1988, when Chunsoft, under the watchful design of Yuji Horii, first unfurled its epic. Originally published by Enix, the hero's journey began on Japan's Famicom on February 10th, 1988, before arriving on the North American NES as Dragon Warrior 3 on March 12th, 1992. Guided by Hori, directed by Koichi Nakamura, and graced with the iconic character art of Akira Toriyama. This role-playing masterpiece weaves a tale centered on the child of the legendary Ortega, who must follow in his father's doomed footsteps and vanquish the arch-fiend Baramos. The score, composed by Koichi Sugiyama, echoes like a sacred hymn in battle and beyond. Over the decades, this storied classic has seen several incarnations. Among them, the Super Famicom remake, a Game Boy Color version, and more. Then came a rebirth worthy of legend, the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, crafted by ArtDink under Square Enix, released to the world on November 14th, 2024 for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. This modern phoenix rises on a foundation of HD 2D visuals reminiscent of Octopath Traveler. Pixel-perfect sprites layered on rich, three-dimensional environments. Voice-acted scenes, quality-of-life improvements like faster battles and autosave, and entirely new content, including a monster wrangler vocation and a monster arena, add fresh depth to the timeless journey. The remake's development was shepherded by producer Masaki Hayasaka, who opted for the HD 2D approach rather than full 3D, believing it preserved the heart and soul of the original adventure. Thus, in both its original 8-bit glory and its splendid modern guise, Dragon Quest III continues to enchant adventurers with its heroic lore, rich design, and undying spirit.
Alrighty, so before we get to talking about Dragon Quest III in its many forms, we like to hear what you guys have to say about the game in question. And we have Brother Retro, who says, as the self-declared anti-JRPG villain of Retrotopia, I have not played this series yet, but I have found the series intriguing, so I'm excited for the episode nonetheless. While I'm not anti, I'm very pro JRPG. So I guess maybe you're our arch nemesis. I don't know, maybe because we all kind of like JRPGs here. So yeah, there you are. You are the villain of Retrotopia. But I'd never played this series before myself, and like you, I was always very intrigued about it. I think it's just that Akira Toriyama art style. How could I not? How could I not be drawn to this? As for being excited for the episode, well, Brother Retro, wait no longer. So thanks everyone, as always, for writing in, and let's get down to business. So make sure you've got enough healing items and try not to use up all of your MP because this game does not hold your hand. And join us as we talk Dragon Quest III, released on the Nintendo Entertainment System on February 10th, 1988, and its remake, which was released at some point November 2024 for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, Windows and Xbox consoles. There we are, I did my homework. Thanks for listening, guys. Enjoy the show. Alrighty, we are back to talk a little bit of Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest, whichever you prefer. 3. Which you guys call it Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior? Which is it?
Dragon Warrior. Well, Dragon Warrior, then Dragon Quest.
I like Quest.
Ah,
I think it
Yeah, I
sounds
like
Oh,
more
Quest
fun.
is better.
I like
Sounds
Quest.
more fun.
Anyway, with me as always is our very apologetic tank, Brian. He's
Sorry.
he's a very strong arm and he'll do a lot of damage, but he's very sorry about it. And to my other side is our resident cheese wizard, Sam. Guys, how you
I
doing?
Like that. I thought you were gonna say
Well,
I was a gadabout or something stupid.
I mean, I thought of wizard, and you're from Wisconsin, so cheese just kind of comes natural,
Cheese
right?
wizard sounds so cool. Yeah.
Please summon me some cheese. Tis the
yeah.
season for a nice charcuterie
Here's
board.
my cheese wand, and I'm shooting Velveeta cheese at you.
Um,
Softest cheese I can think of.
and what are we, like 30 seconds in, and you've derailed the conversation already with a dick joke? Outstanding.
I didn't make a dick joke.
It
I
sound-
said, look at my cheese wand, and I'm shooting cheese. You said he was a cheese. Oh, fuck off.
You see where we might think that sounded a little.
yeah, you see.
Maybe it's you guys.
You see
call
how
him a
you
wizard.
come.
Wizards have wands. Fine, his staff. Does that sound better? Do you want me to talk about his giant, gorging staff?
Ah, yes, always, always.
Remember when that one person in that other Discord said we just make too many dick jokes?
Is that
no,
what someone
I
said?
do not. Was that a thing
don't
that happened?
remember
There was.
I mean, they're
You don't
right.
remember that?
They're right.
You remember the Remember the Game one? You were directly involved in the conversation, Ellen.
Pass. I have no recollection of that.
I have no idea.
You need to either start drinking more or stop drinking.
Well,
There's one or the other.
Well, they
I'm
are
working on
correct.
Yeah.
They're not wrong, to be fair. So RPGs are kind of a daunting task, really, especially to talk about, because you always kind of feel like there's going to be plenty of stuff you miss. Especially because I mean, history-wise, I guess we'll get into that. I have never ever played a Dragon. I'm going to say Dragon Quest. I've never played a Dragon Quest before. I've always sort of been interested in the series because it looks great, and I love my RPGs. I love Final Fantasy and whatnot. But I'd never dipped my toe into the series until now. There was a point that I had to this, but I've no idea what it was. You guys, I mean, we didn't get Dragon Quest over here for the longest time, much like everything else. But you guys had all of the Dragon Warriors, Dragon Quests right from the get-go, did you not?
I'm
No.
honestly unsure, but I believe we did.
I think
So, I
eventually
At
mean,
least
we
one
got
through three.
1 and 2 right, but not 3 right away. And then I think it come out first on the Game Boy Color. We do such good research here, by the way. I think there is a Dragon Warrior Game Boy Color game that was the first instance of it.
There's 4 versions.
Right.
There's the NES version, or maybe it's just the Famicom. Then there's the Super Nintendo remake. Then there's the Game Boy Color remake, and then there's the 2D HD remake.
Yes.
Ah.
So
And just to clarify, so I emulated, obviously, the original version of Dragon Quest 3. You guys, you played the remake? Both
Sure
of
did.
you? Or,
Yeah.
and is
So
that...
that's actually something we should bring up, is that you will be the authority on the original, and then Sam and I, we played the best way to play nowadays is through that remake.
Yeah. And actually, I'd say
I-
about a year ago now, I played the translation of the Super Nintendo. I guess it would be
Oh,
considered
that's
a
right.
remake. I did play
Yeah.
a chunk of it, not all the way through.
Oh,
Yeah, if you want to hear that, head over to Retro Wars. That was this week's episode featuring Sam. So you can get his opinion twice, and let's see if he has changed anything.
I don't know.
that's
I
You're
can't even
pretty,
remember. That was so
when
long
you
ago
played
we
that-
recorded that. And I was like, I even messaged Danny. I was like, dude, I didn't finish it back then. Do you want to see about re-recording that, where I have like a little bit more of a? I mean, I still had an opinion on it. I got the gameplay mechanics and stuff, but like, I didn't get nearly
Yeah,
as far in the
there-
story.
I mean, after you get the lay of the land, I mean, the story is just only a part of the podcast, really.
Right.
and a relatively small part of this podcast, I would think, because this kind of has that very, very early RPG thing where the story is just kind of there as an engine to get you from place to place, rather than the deep sort of sweeping narratives that they would become. It
I don't know, like the 2D HD remake. Well, Dragon Quest 3 isn't the. Sorry, Dragon Quest 3 is the first game in the sequence of the story wise.
Right.
And when you finish the game, it even tells you go play Dragon Quest 1 and 2.
yeah.
And it's it's got at least, I think it has a good story, but you're right, there's a lot of it that's just kind of shoved in there to make it a long game.
I mean, I don't think that this game has a bad story by any stretch. My thing is that they're obviously the characters are all quite interchangeable, so there's no real character development going through it, and it just has that kind
outside
of
the hero.
It just kind of has that thing with that old RPGs did, where it's just like, hero, there is a great big threat. There is an enemy to life and limb somewhere on the horizon over there. You've got to go and fuck him up. Otherwise, here's just a bunch of other side quests, and you don't really sort of have much to do with the story until you get there.
Yeah, it's
No, I got a question for you, Alan. Like,
Hit me.
I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions about things that are different. Are you able to pick a female hero in the original? Or are you just kind of like shoehorned into the OG man
Do you know what?
man-centric world?
I'm going to have to pick a 50-50 on this and hope that you don't actually look into it, because for a start, I completed this a good, where are we now? November? So I guess I beat it kind of early October, which you would think would be enough for me to remember what happened in the game. But me being what I am, I don't recall picking a gender at the start, but maybe. I mean, it sounds familiar.
Hold on. I looked it up real quick. It
Thank
says
God for
that
you, Sam.
on the NES Dragon Warrior 3, a female hero character is available, but the game doesn't fully support the choice, often referring to the character as male. So I think it's kind of like
Wow.
it's like they wanted to give you the option, but then also they maybe didn't think it through the entire way.
Yeah.
Did you know?
When I played the game, I picked the female without realizing it was a female because they look pretty much the same. I just like the hairstyle better. It wasn't long hair, classic big hips, big boobs. It was just the male character with different hair from what I could see. So I chose that one, and I didn't know I had the female character until you get to one point of the game where you become the king/queen.
Right.
And that's when I realized I was actually a woman, and all of a sudden I started working it, and she ended up kicking ass.
Tell you what, that is hilarious though, because at least in the original, what Sam's saying there just says to me that these guys put the choice in there, but they were just like, well, nobody's going to pick this, because back in the day, these games were very much marketed towards the male audience, right? And they must have just been thinking, well, we'll put it in there just as a nod, but we won't actually make much effort about it because girls don't play video games, and how wrong they are.
Do you imagine like how much extra space you have to use just to like start adding words? Like you already have a limited size cartridge on the NES cartridge, and now you're writing this whole script, and you have to write a script that says if you chose this character at the beginning, you have to say she, her, or all that stuff. I have a feeling it was laziness more than sexism.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm kind of with Brian. Like you have to go back through and let's say they said like, well, we want to give characters or players the option to pick. Well, now we have to go back through, and they probably maybe they did, maybe they didn't scour the script as much as possible, but that's a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of dialogue in this game that you'd have to
no
go
doubt.
through and...
But at the same time, you think if you were going to make the option available, then at least go all in on it. But
unless it was a late decision,
Brian,
yeah,
maybe. But what you said there, Brian, actually brings me to a point I wanted to make about the size of the cartridges and what have you. Because talking about an RPG, as I said off the top, is a very long and daunting task, and you think, "Wow, God, how are we going to cover everything?" And at least to begin with, I was thinking, well, it's an NES RPG, and I've played like Final Fantasy 1. on the NES. Well, I played it on the Game Boy Advance.
And Crystallis.
And Crystallis. And you think, well, there's probably not all that much to talk about. I mean, these games are, they're fairly basic when it comes to the sort of history of RPGs. And I got to tell you, like, this game was very impressive by just how big it is, especially for the NES. Like, there is a lot of fucking game here, right?
Yeah. Like, well, Final Fantasy was built off of trying to become, like Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest is pretty much, I'm not going to say it's like the original, but it's the, the one that crawled so Final Fantasy could walk so that all these RPGs could run.
Okay, I did not know that. I did not know that Dragon Quest came first. That's interesting.
It is the best-selling game franchise in Japan, too. I mean, it's like...
Oh, they would shut down their economy because a new Dragon Quest was coming out.
Yeah.
I believe you. I believe it.
Yeah, like, this game is a phenomenon in Japan. And obviously it didn't pick up here because, us Western folk, we were not into our RPGs. In Europe, don't seem to ever get any games.
That's true.
But, like... This is a different beast of an RPG as well.
Yeah.
Like Final Fantasy is pretty hard and grindy. This game takes that from a 10, just says fuck you, here's a 20. This game is brutal.
This is a hard I was surprised at the difficulty of the game. Like, I mean, I had played it a little bit before and like I just kind of chalked up my initial attempt at it to like I just didn't have enough time on my hands, and it's a SNES RPG, and whatever. It's probably just like retro game hard, and it's like, yeah, they made quality of life improvements to the 2D HD remake, but it's like, man, it will still just absolutely fuck you up if it decides to.
I remember in the early game, I thought I was in the wrong area because the enemies were knocking out my party in like one hit, and I was like, okay, well, that's not where I have to go because the enemies are too hard.
Yeah.
But you have that quest marker in the 2D HD thing, and it was right in the smack dab in the middle of where I was. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
That's the same thing that happened to me. Like, everything, full disclosure, I did not finish it again, but I'm still working on it, and I'm very close to the end of the game. But I mean, like, this is not for lack of trying. I'm like 40 plus hours in, and I've leveled my party and re-leveled my party, which we'll discuss. But like, the same thing happened. That's why I was like so irritated with it over this weekend. Was like, I knew it wasn't the final boss, but I beat this Baramos, this guy that looks like a fat ass pterodactyl shit, and so I kicked his ass, and I was like, yes, that was awesome. And I knew there was another segment, but what I was not prepared for was that they'd throw you into this other segment, and that I was just absolutely going to get worked over again for like really badly. Like, you get back in the ship and you're sailing around in this underworld, and it's like I'm getting just like absolutely fucked. Again and again.
Yeah.
And it's like I had to sit and grind for another few hours. I played for a good like couple additional hours last night just walking around grinding.
That's what
I eventually dummied the game down to easy for my grinding purposes because you don't die when you're on easy. You just go to one hit point.
Oh, I should just.
And I was just getting so tired of just going out to grind and getting fucking like beat off. And yes, that was meant to be a pun because I really felt
they
like
whack
I was,
you.
Yeah. Anyways, I would just happen so often. So you like do one fight and you go back to town, or you like limp back to town, revive your people, do another fight. Now those people who are dead aren't getting experience, so it's like a zero-sum game. So I just said, screw it, I want to grind for a while, and I just turned it to easy. That was the only way I could do it.
Oh, that sounds nice.
And
I wish I had
love
an easy
RPGs. Yeah, I love RPGs, but I started this game right off the finishing of Final Fantasy V, and it took me probably about the first 10 hours to reprogram my brain into Dragon Quest mode.
Yeah.
Because there is stuff in the like battling system that just it didn't jive with the way Final Fantasy does it, and we'll get into that in a minute.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Then the game, like Final Fantasy, seems to level you at the right amount where you need to be. Like a little bit of struggle at the beginning, but by the time you leave the area, you're good to go. This one is kind of like you're not going to survive those first 5 steps, So you have to go grind in a lower level until you can survive those first 5 steps, and then you got to go 5 steps into the next area and hope the hell you can make it back in time.
Yeah,
because it's going to still fuck you up.
And this is exactly because it kind of, for me, had a kind of almost fantasy style feel where it has those arbitrary lines that are just drawn on the map that you can't see, where if you cross it, like, you are going to get your shit mixed. Yeah, it's just like just one step in the wrong direction, and suddenly the enemies are absolutely smoking you. And it is tough. It is tough. You know, yeah, you would, like Phantasy Star, just have to stay close. I spent so much of this game just like going up and left and up and around a town, just, you know, trying to stay close while I'm grinding. And I turn it into a sort of thing, because every new town I got to, I decided that I was going to, well, buy all of the equipment that I could find in that town and really gear up.
Oh.
I know. And the, you know, the rewards for the fights make it a very, very uphill struggle. But
oh yeah,
while focusing on that rather than the EXP, I found myself sort of leveling up almost without myself noticing, and that was the only way I could find to sufficiently level to feel like I could start cutting that umbilical cord from the town and just wandering out a bit further, because this has the old RPG curse of your healing, your MP, reviving and stuff like that. For the lion's share of the game, this is not stuff that you can do outside of a chapel or an inn. And it's only sort of in the late game that you start getting the spells that you can actually do that stuff. So
but you have to find, what are they? Those prayer rings in order to revive people on the field, and those are scarce as fuck.
Yeah.
Huh? Did you
I
not
guess
get the
when
ring?
you use the prayer ring as an item, right? You can revive someone, and it's like 100% rate. Like it's not like the revive spell where it's like, oh, it'll work like 50% of the time, maybe.
Oh no, I got the whatever the second revive spell was.
Oh yeah, you get that later on in the game depending on your class, but
yeah.
No, like item wise, you can't get Phoenix Downs. You can't just
No.
go buy like a wagon load of Phoenix Downs. This one, you have so many prayer rings you can find throughout the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's limping back to a town and getting to, like, if you're lucky, your hero hasn't been killed, and you can maybe use your evac spell and get to a town. And then,
oh my god, that thing was worth its weight in gold.
Oh, I know. And it's like when I was originally playing it, I was like, I would never use anything that used MP for the hero. I would always like save up as much MP as possible, because I knew if I got into the shit, I would have to warp out.
Definitely. And you need to
yeah.
do it twice, because if you're inside a dungeon, you need to warp outside of the dungeon and then warp from outside of the dungeon back to the town.
I thought that was 2 different spells, because
that's what I'm
you
saying.
had zoom.
You know, it's not just the one spell.
But I thought you could use zoom inside the dungeon. I don't know if I ever tried.
No, there's an evac and then a zoom. So like evac will get you out of the dungeon, and then zoom will get you the rest of the way to the town.
That zoom spell was.
Yeah.
I know you just said it, but that zoom spell was just so much fun. Like when you had to go back and go look for something, like those doors where you needed the specific key, and you could just zoom back there, and it would take you like half a second. It's so much better than
super convenient.
Big time.
Yeah, you're near death. You bitch out of a dungeon. Yeah, no, I love that. That's probably the most used spell. Like if they had a stat of the most used spell, it would be like zoom, evac, and then probably like, I think I had a fire spell that hit everybody, burst or something.
Yeah, the spells took a minute to figure out what the hell they did, right? Like,
yeah, kaboom,
boom.
Okay,
like,
what's a kaboom?
Frizz is a fire spell. There's frizz, frizzle.
Yeah, I think
tingle
these all
is
have
the one
different
that
names
like
in the original.
Yeah, there's so many. Wait,
my favorite.
Yeah,
go on.
Go ahead. No. I
was going to say,
I'm
like,
interested to see if they had like the full number of characters to like actually spell them out, or if they were abbreviated.
Oh, what you mean for the? Well, I mean, one of the ones I used the most was Bykill. Once I had that, I was laughing. Like that
what
spell.
What the hell is that?
It basically just massively increases your physical damage output. So you could just cast it on everyone.
Oh, wasn't that like
Oomph.
buff?
Well, buff is for
Oomph,
defense.
that's what it
There's
was, yeah.
there's buff for like a
Right.
one character, and then there's kabuff for your whole party, but it only does like a slight increase. And then there's oomph, but there's no. Well, this would be hard to say anyways, but I wish there was a ka-oomph.
Ka-oomph.
that would apply to the whole party, but there's not. There was just an oomph.
All right. If there's something stupid about this game, it's the naming convention for spells.
Yes.
Big time. Big time.
Like, even Final Fantasy smartened up and decided to go Fire 1, Fire 2, or Fire, Viagra, whatever is used nowadays.
Viagra.
Oh man.
Gotta get your spell up.
Yep.
Viagra.
I used
it.
Tingle for that one. I just
Chuck
yeah.
that one into a crowded room and see what happens.
I just actually
Okay, so-
I do once I realized what they were, I kind of just appreciated the naming convention. Just kind of made me feel more like I was in that, like, it immersed me in the world of like magic and wizardry. It's like, I'm going to cast Kafriz. Like, I don't know, I just felt like I could narrate my battle and it would sound like high fantasy.
Oh, yeah, once I knew what they did, I knew what they did. There was no problem with
Yeah.
it. But just at the beginning there where it's like you're using crackle. Why? Because ice makes a crackling noise.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of fun.
It's like,
I
And
don't
there's,
know.
like-
yeah, so... but I didn't... I had like a wizard or a mage or whatever the class is, and they would only learn fire spells and then like a couple of ice spells. How do you learn spells in this game?
They level up
Just by leveling
they're
up.
at certain levels. Yeah. So like
Yeah.
if you
But I didn't even max out the ice spells though, and like they're at level 40 and it's like nothing.
Oh, they eventually do. Unless some of those are only accessible to the sage class. That might be
Maybe
be part of
So
it. 'cause-
wait.
Yeah.
Did you say leveling up spells or leveling up characters?
Character.
Could you level up-
characters.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking like.
And they would just learn the spells.
No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I was starting to wonder like if you had to use the certain type of spell so many times before it would actually like you'd get the next level of that spell, because I don't know, that happens in some games. So I don't know. I just stopped caring and then beat the game. So
Did you guys
Yeah,
have
no.
like
long story short,
yeah? Do you have
Go
no,
ahead,
that's
Sam.
it. Long story short.
Did you have a favorite class? Like, cause we're kind of talking about. I mean,
Oh.
we're all over the place. It's hard to.
Yeah.
It's hard to like. There's so much to talk about. But did you have a favorite or least favorite class, and or did you try every class?
I did not.
I didn't either.
So basically, like very early on, the game tells you like you might like to try these 4 characters. I mean, hero is obviously a given.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
you
like,
can't change hero.
no, but you might like to try like a team made up of these characters. So I was like, all right, I'll play with those characters then. So what? I had I think I had a soldier.
Ellen do what game tell him to do.
That's right, because why would game lie? So I think I had is it a soldier? So I had the hero, the
warrior
soldier.
Warrior.
They call it a warrior in the remake, but maybe it's soldier. But yeah, it's like
No,
just
it
your,
might- it
your
might-
fighter.
It might be a warrior. Yeah, basically just the tank. The wizard, and what was the last one?
Priest.
Gadabout.
It might have been a priest. Might have been a priest.
The priest is
Okay,
the
so
healer,
then
basically
you're-
the white mage, and then the wizard is
Yeah.
basically the black mage or the fire.
So that's what I took with me. No, actually, sorry, no. My hero, who I named Hero, was my quote-unquote warrior. I took the priest for healing, the mage for magic, and I took the martial artist as my fourth.
That's a good fourth.
Because I didn't have to buy weapons for them.
Yeah, and their speed is awesome. Like their speed and attack
Yeah.
are awesome. So like that's a good one. That's a good call.
That is a good shout, because wherever you can, I mean, it's effectively a monk. So like wherever you can get a monk class in anything, I mean, not to go off topic, but a monk class in fucking Final Fantasy Tactics is
Oh
just
god, yes.
whoa.
That's
beast.
on your
yeah.
way to a ninja too. So that's
Oh, buddy.
that's
I need to
I'm
play
all
that
over
game
it.
again.
Yeah. So I'd say like for the most part, I really liked the martial artist, but I think and my first party was very basic. It was like I always know I want to take someone who can do offensive spells, so basically your wizard, and then I want to take not a sage. I want to take a priest because I want a white mage to heal, and then I need a warrior of some sort. So I had the warrior. I didn't take the martial artist. But now thinking back, if I were to start this over, I would take the martial artist first, and then because the cool thing that you can do in this game is you play the first chunk of the game, and by that time you reach a place called All Trades Abbey, and your characters should maybe be around level 20. Mine were, and they give you the option to change your character's class, and kind of like in, I don't know, Alan, if you remember this from Fire Emblem, but you could use the emblem on your character, and then it would change their class but reduce their level back down to 1, but they were still a little bit more powerful, so they would just work back up from that. And that's kind of what happens.
They don't overly explain that in this game, though. That was my problem why I didn't do it at first, and that's why I got characters to level 40, was because I was like, no, I put so much time to get these characters to level 20. I'm not dropping them to level 1 again, because it did not explain to me that their stats are still a bit boosted.
Yeah, it is.
And if you're a level 1 in a level 20 area, you get back to level 20 really fast.
It happens pretty quick, but it is kind of a grindy mechanic. So, like, you do have to be prepared to and do like one at a time, because that character will naturally be a little bit weak for a while, but they will quickly regain some of their strength and become a contributor again. But it's just like, I thought that was so cool. I just sat, there was one night that I just sat and I got so fixated on just grinding that I think I cycled at least 1 or 2 characters. I started a new character, got them up to level 20, cycled them down 2 more times. And so I had like I had a sage that was at one point a white mage, or like the priest, the wizard, and then like a martial artist, and then went back up and made them a sage. So now they're like a level 40 sage and have had all this other like stat boost from these other classes, and they fucking rule.
I think I've just put my finger on why Sam hasn't beaten this game yet.
It's because that one night I just sat and did grinding.
You just locked in. It is a cool mechanic. I mean, the thing is, I was more on Brian's side of the fence, and I know that you actually went and started respecking, but yeah, your character is reduced down to level 1, and you lose half. I think it was about half of your stats, which still is a far more powerful level 1 character. Fair enough, but I was just like, I'd sunk so much time into this. I was just like, I couldn't be fucked to level up the characters again. So I just decided, you know what? I've managed to find a system that works for the most part, because this game will always find a way to just fuck you over in a fight. But, you know, I was just like, I'm just going to push on with the characters that I've got. And if I have one regret, it's probably that I didn't explore respecing the characters, because...
We talked about that, though, if you remember, like... because I finally decided to respec the characters, because I looked it up. Like, I wasn't going to do it without being sure. And then that's when I found out about all that. Like, you get the stats, and this is actually the way you're supposed to get your characters to the next level. Mm-hmm. And by that, I mean, like, the next level, because they'll have more hit points, more attack power, and all that kind of stuff. If you don't respect them, you're playing the game on a sort of new difficulty level. Well, not new, but you're handicapping yourself, because the game really... wants you to respec your characters so that you get those extra boosts.
I don't doubt that for a second, considering the amount of time. I mean, the irony of it is that my own laziness in that first half of the game probably meant I spent the equivalent amount of time leveling up the characters that I had. So realistically, it probably worked out about exactly the same amount of time. You know, I still beat the game.
No, time-wise, yeah. But you probably...
that final
handicapped
fight,
yourself a little bit.
Oh, that final fight gave me some griefs. Like, some of these bosses. I mean,
every boss is difficult.
Even if you've sat there and you got yourself to a comfortable level with just the dungeon enemies there, those bosses were always, again, they're like 5 levels past what you needed to be, no matter where you were. And they just kick you in the dick.
Yeah, you just have to adjust to them being able to do some sort of move that will take most of the health of one or all of your characters in a single thing or being able to hit multiple times per turn. It's just ridiculous.
That is the one that got me. That is the one that got me
frustrates
because
me.
that came out of nowhere. I think the first one, I think it was was it Orochi, the dragon thing that's like hiding in that town. I don't quote me on this, but I think that's the first time that an enemy has started throwing out multiple attacks per turn. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, what am I dealing with right now? It's like, where did that come from?
I'm yelling at the TV at that point and be like, be nice if I get a turn, because I'm getting angry. And
oh yeah, no kidding. And like the game, I don't know if the NES version does this, but the remake makes this like, I mean, the sound effects on Dragon Quest I think are very distinctive, and they very much keep the kind of 8-bit kind of jingles and sounds
nice
in the game, which I really appreciate. But every time the enemy hits you, you hear this little like thing before it does it, and it's just like 3 or 4 times in a row. And I've got it like on the ultra fast setting because I think the battle system is very, very slow, and I just want to kind of want to read through it quick. But it was just like it's like, okay, so he's dead.
So we're back to the Dennis Reynolds thing, yeah. I don't care for that.
Oh yeah, I don't care for that sound.
But
it's exactly what it is.
Going into the battle, going into the battles though. Like I said, I came out of Final Fantasy V and jumped right into Dragon Quest III, and Final Fantasy lets you pick whatever enemy you want to hit. So if you know there's a specific enemy you want to aim at, you fucking aim at that enemy. This game, you can aim at blocks of enemies, and if you have 2 of the same enemy and they're separated by a different enemy, you can't aim at those blocks of enemies.
It's not even that. It's not even if they're separated by a different enemy. You could have like, I don't know, 6 or 7 of the same enemy on the screen, and for some reason the game just decides, well, that's 4 of one and 3 of the other, and it's like they're the same enemy. Why do I have to retype? Right. And it does. It does that other thing as well that I can't stand that some RPGs do, and I don't get it. And it's just like, well, if the enemy that the system has decided that you're attacking is no longer there, they've been killed, then you're going to attack an empty space. And it's just like, why is that a thing?
Oh, they fixed that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering about that. I was thinking about that today.
So many games in my life have that's been a mechanic, and you have to hold back. I think the original Final Fantasy was like that as well.
I think it must have been
where you're going to hit rather. Yeah. No, it's that's definitely fixed, but the blocking of enemies, it really changed your strategy too. Like after you started getting used to blocks of enemies or certain like blocks, because they would repeat quite often, you were able to like follow a systematic thing where you could take them out as quick as possible. But then every so often they would just mix it up a little bit, and your strategy is just out the door.
Yeah.
Well, there are some where it's just, oh god. Yeah, no, go ahead. I got to go off when you're done.
I would tend to like divide my team up into like, well, you 2 are going to attack this block, you 2 are going to attack this block, and hopefully like you kill at least someone. Because it was so frustrating whenever somebody would miss that attack, and it's just like, well, I kind of needed that enemy to die because now he's probably going to cast something like Confuse on my entire party, and we're going to get into that spiral of nobody being awake or everyone being confused, and then you just get worked over. It's just not fun. Once you get into that routine of like, every enemy is casting Sleep or every enemy is casting Confuse or anything, it's just like so hard to get out of that loop.
Right. Ugh. And then of course then layer on the fact that there are enemies that are faster than your party. There are enemies that attack, multiple times per turn, like we mentioned, and do status effect shit. So like there were definitely, especially in the late game, like combinations of enemies that I would see in a dungeon, and I would just be like, fuck this shit. I am not dealing with like a group of 2 shades in the middle surrounded by like a couple of skeletons that can paralyze, and then like this other thing on the outskirts over here that can like confuse and put the party to sleep. It's just like there are some combinations that are just like not even worth my time. I will try to run. If they prevent me from running, I will take my licks and try to run on the next turn. Like, I'm not even going to fuck with this because I'm going to get absolutely destroyed. No matter what, no
Yeah.
matter how high level you are, there's always going to be at least one or two of the enemies that you're not going to be able to hit, and then they're just going to start working their little weasel magic in and fuck your party over. Not to mention the fact that I'm going to go off on these fucking skeletons. Now I'm finally powered up enough that like they don't cause too much problems. But if you would hit a group of like just 3 or 4 of those skeletons alone, and they're like 6 arms, they got these swords or whatever, they would do a fair amount of damage to my party, but then also they would do this stupid fucking spell that would paralyze. And so like the way paralysis works is like you can't even use items, you can't do shit, like you can't nothing, absolutely nothing, can't reach in your bag, can't attack. Obviously it's not like Pokemon or like maybe Final Fantasy is like this, where it's like, oh, paralyzed, maybe you just won't hit and you'll just be immobilized for a turn.
No,
or
paralyze in Final Fantasy is nothing as well.
Is it? Okay, because like that's kind of this style, but they could do it to your whole party. And there were times when my whole party would be paralyzed, and then I would just have to like sit there and wait while they just like slowly killed me, and then I have to start over from my save. Like, fuck you.
Do you know what the status effect I thought was like stupid was sleep, because normally in games when you're sleeping and you get hit, you wake up.
Yeah,
in this game
doesn't
doesn't happen.
Right, and that's
just like, oh, I'm just gonna eat fucking hits and I'm gonna stay asleep. It's like, what? That's not how sleep is supposed to work.
Yeah.
No, if I get hit in my sleep, I'm 50-50. I'm probably waking up.
And I'm gonna be more mad, so my attack is gonna be up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you get a boost.
You should get a boost.
I think it was called Numb in the original game, and Sam, you're right, it is the actual worst thing, because
it sucks.
Guaranteed it would hit the only person in my team who had the spell that would get rid of Numb.
Oh, that too, yeah.
It's like it knows.
And it's just like, after that, well, now, that's guaranteed. That's my healer as well, so...
And here's the other problem, is you've got the healer that has the counter spell for paralysis, but whatever enemy can attack multiple times per turn, and there's probably more than one of them, and they can cast the paralyze that affects the whole party. Like, your little anti-paralysis spell, how cute is it? It just does one... you can fix one of your party. Well, guess what? They've just cast it 3 more times on the other end and re-paralyzed everyone. Like,
see, now that we're talking about it, what I want to know is that if the enemy party can be divided up into like different blocks, why can't my team?
Oh, I know.
Every
like they can
spell
just,
that they, and there are some spells that you get that pretty much blanket the entire screen. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I think even the best ones, they will hit everyone in that particular block, and they were fantastic. I'm trying to remember if there are any spells that hit everyone, and I can't.
There's like some of the high level ones, like Kazap. Bang is the one, Bang or Boom or whatever. Those ones are early ones, but
yeah. But it doesn't do a lot of damage, but if you have an enemy weak to fire, it's a good way to kind of say hello to everybody.
Yeah. And Kazap, I like at this point now that I have like those really high level offensive spells, I can just set those like the wind one, like Kaswoosh is pretty good, and like the Crackle or whatever, the freaking ice one, and the fire one. I know, and Kazap I think is my favorite one, because my hero has that. It just like unleashes like unholy lightning on everyone and just fries them. It's awesome. But until then, it's just there's nothing. Yeah, there's like no way.
I'm gonna try and find the list of spells from the original game, because I want to see. Okay, heal more, heal all. Heal us all. Fairly self-explanatory. Numb off.
Numb off.
That sounds
like you guys.
That sounds like some sort of jerk off thing. Like, I'm gonna numb off.
Oh yeah. Sit on your hand, and then we're gonna have a numb off.
Like, revive is Kazing, return is Zoom, X-ray is Peep. You guys had much better names for these things.
Yeah. Peep,
oh yeah, they've updated
fun.
them, but they're still dumb.
Yeah, they're still very silly. I like them.
Kaklang.
That one is goofy.
Hocus Pocus, Sap, Kasap, Dazzle.
I just learned Hocus Pocus. Yeah.
There's one called Poof.
Yeah,
expel. Yeah. Surround is dazzle. Oh, these are so good. Stop,
Yeah,
spell,
dazzle
fizzle.
sucked too. Dazzle just kind of made you. It's like sand attack or whatever, where you lose your accuracy.
Dale Gribble.
I've got to be fair though, I mean, looking at this list of spells, like, how the hell are you guys supposed to know what you were casting? Because I'm looking here, look, fizzle.
No, it's trial and error.
Yeah, it is.
fizzle.
It really is.
Well,
Yeah.
you learn after using crack that crackle is the same thing as crack. Once you start to like crack, you just want more crack.
Not even
Yeah, and then
once.
you
You
get
keep
and then you
using
get crack
crack.
spackle.
I'm just look, but look, stop spell for me was fizzle for you. How does that make sense? Defense is kazap. It's just like defense and stop spell. I mean, stop spell. I mean, what else do you need to know? Chaos is fuddle. Okay. Oh, this is
Oh,
brilliant.
fuddle sucks.
I do like
God, the
the
confusion
next
spell
level
was
of heal
ridiculous.
is just called more heal.
Yeah, more heal. Yeah. And then there was like more heal or mid heal. There was heal, mid heal, and then more heal, and then full heal.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
okay,
It's just like
Explode it. There's the one I like the most.
Exploder,
Kaboom
yeah.
for you guys.
um,
that was my spell.
the other status condition that sucked was the confusion, because again, it wasn't like a Pokemon confusion where, you know, it's an either or, like you can still attack or you might just hurt yourself. It was always like your character will pick something random and do it to someone or your entire party. So it's like there were times when like my confused guy would be like, you know, Kafrizzle on the entire party. It's like, you fucker. Just go sit down. If you're dizzy, go sit down.
Yeah.
And like you
Like,
can't
don't-
pick defend
Don't
or
drink
you
and
can't
spell.
right. Like you can't. There's no way to like defer the turn for that character or something like that. Like they will act and they will do something to damage you, pretty much.
Yeah. Mate.
Ugh.
I know
Oh,
I know
man,
it sounds like we've been shitting on this game, but you know, I
It's just-
did actually really enjoy
I do.
it.
No,
I do
this
enjoy
isn't
the
shitting
game.
on
It's
the
just
game.
very,
This is-
very tough.
Yeah. This is objectively funny. Like, one thing that happened to me in the game is after you get the ship, because you'll get a ship that kind of opens up the entire world, and you sail around, and I found this empty place, and it's like, hey, do you have a merchant in your party? And it's like, yeah, this dude's fucking jacked, brah.
Oh yeah.
Like, he was a guy that I'd flipped classes for a few times, and he was now a merchant. Like, he was like a low-level merchant, but I was getting him up there. And he's like, hey, do you want to build a town? I'm like, yeah, let's do this shit. And then he's like, yeah, I'm gone from the party for good now. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? Like, no, you're my best character. Get back here.
Oh my god.
I just went and grabbed a random merchant from like the first
I did
Callahan
too.
or
I didn't
whatever.
know.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be like a quick thing, be like, hey, do you want to help us real quick? And be like, yeah, and we go do a quest together. But no, it turned out you takes the fucking merchant from your
Yes.
party. So I had to sail back and go find a place to get another goddamn character who was level 1 with no fucking swap overs. And I'm like, you goddamn sissy. I called him fucking dipshit because I didn't even want him in the party. I wanted my merchant back.
Brian,
Oh, that
Brian
sucks.
was
Did you
Brian
figure out a
was
way to get
there,
him back?
Was that? Oh,
You
you
can't.
get him back eventually when
Do
you
you?
do the storyline, but at that point it was too late because dipshit
Yeah.
was now like a fucking beast.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever got him back.
I didn't,
I was
just
gonna say-
because I didn't go back there. But yeah, that was that
Right.
whole.
Oh yeah, you do it. Like, it's a weird story because it's one of those things where you're gone for so long, and then you get a pop up message that says we should go check on. Well, this guy was named Keegs with 2 Z's, and you should go check up on Keegs. So I would go back there, and then the story of that little town would progress, and eventually he became corrupt, and then all of his
Yeah.
town people revolted against him, and he got arrested. And then after all that happened, he's like, yeah, I'm going to join the party again. I'm like, okay, well, go sit off in fuck off land because you're no longer useful to me.
Yeah,
You're right.
Brian was thinking that he was just leaving Robo behind to plant some trees.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
j-
exactly it.
I did the same thing Alan did, but only because I was too dumb to figure out what that fucking town was asking me for. I was traveling I was like, there's gotta be a way. I was traveling to like every single town and talking to NPCs to see if they were the merchant that I was supposed to bring there. And I was like, finally I sat down and I was like, isn't merchant a class? Because like that's not a class I would have picked anyways. Like that's the other thing that kind of fucked me over, was like I didn't have a merchant in my party, nor was I going to go get one, because that sounds boring as hell. And so I was like, oh, maybe they mean this. And so then I was like, I'll go try to just recruit one real quick and go back over here and see if that's what it is. And that's what it was. So I was like, great, have this guy that I just picked up off the street. I don't care.
Wow. So I mean, and that's
sorry,
all
Brian.
part of the that's all part of
No,
the
it's all good.
storyline where you have to basically traverse the world looking for these orbs to, I guess, open up the path to the seemingly the final fight, before you realise that it's only basically the first 2/3.
You get the
game.
giant burb. That's what it's for.
The giant burb, to fly around
love
on
the
the giant
bird.
burb. And
I didn't even. I put the game down for so long, I forgot I was looking for orbs until I started finding orbs.
well, that's just it. That's what I
Well,
wanted to ask, because for my game, I guess it's signposted in so much as if you talk to people, they will be dropping very heavy clues about what you need to do and where you need to go. But did you guys like have map markers, or how did it work?
Yeah, there was a map marker in this one.
But like
Yeah,
all
they
of the
put
orbs.
Blatantly knew where you're going.
Oh, that's so much
But that's-
better.
That is better, but here's the thing, and this is what I appreciate, and this is talking to you, Alan, about playing the NES version, is just confirming that on this 2D HD remake, they towed the line perfectly between making quality of life improvements but not handing things to you in such a way that it's too easy. Because yes, they put markers on where the orbs were, but that didn't mean that you had the right items or you were there at the right time of day or with the right people in your party to actually advance the story. Like there was one in that town that's like been destroyed by the Dark Lord or whatever, so it's like a ghost town.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I went there.
Night.
Yeah, and I went there several times before I realized what I was actually supposed to be doing, and I saw
I had
that
to
there
look
was
up a walkthrough on that one.
yeah, there's like a question mark in that like little prison where like you're supposed to talk to that guy that kind of triggers that part of the quest for you, but I just happened to go there at night one time and there were all kinds of ghosts, and I'd never seen that before because I had always happened to go there during the day. And so I was like, oh shit, there's a guy in there where it said the question mark was, but there's also a guy blocking. So you needed the like the ultimate key or whatever so you could open any door, because if you didn't have that, then the guard would tell you to fuck off and then you couldn't go talk to that dude. So that was kind of a wrinkle to it that I thought was clever. But yeah, like this game doesn't, it helps you along with, you know, updated maps and you know, like some really cool stuff, like extra features, and obviously the graphics are gorgeous and stuff, but it's still hard as fuck and it doesn't hold your hand at all. You know, so I thought that was cool.
I did really like the fact that even though on the NES version, you know, you weren't told with a map where you needed to go, but a lot of NPCs and a lot of RPGs are entirely useless, and I found like actually having conversations with people in this game, like 9 times out of 10 yielded at least a thread that you could like tug on. You know, a bunch of people.
So you mean the reverse Breath of Wild?
Yeah, so it's like this
not
is
Breath of Wild, Breath
so
of
this
Fire.
is not Breath of Fire.
Yeah.
God.
But they'll say,
or
there's a
Fantasy
cave
Star
nearby
for
that
that
has
matter.
something in it. Yeah, big time. It's just
like
thank you.
Yeah, they'll be like,
Thank
oh, you should go
for
check
giving
out this
me-
thing to the north. Yeah, they give you directions too. Like you can go northwest of here and there's a thing. It's like awesome. Thank you.
Well, that must be something worth checking out then. Speaking of the map, you guys noticed the map,
Yes.
right?
I sure did.
Go ahead, Sam.
It's the world. It's basically
It's
just
racist.
it is the world map, just basically like Earth map, but tilted on like a 45 degree. So like if you're not looking at it that hard, like you wouldn't notice. But also like the towns and the kind of like, I don't know, like I guess like kind of ethnicities that inhabit those towns kind of match up to like the people that inhabit those areas. So like there's a town that ends up being in like Spain and Portugal that like they are very Spanish. There is one that's very Italian. There's one that's like Japan is obviously Japan. Then there's like the I think the ones that really gave it away for me that like I started to kind of notice and I was like, oh, and as I kind of traced around the map, I was like, no way, this is definitely Earth. Australia looks like Australia, and Japan looks like Japan, and then you can kind of trace your way around from there.
Yeah. I never really noticed that because when we see maps over here, usually North America is centered and it's on the right side this time.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, the North America. So I never put two and two together right away. I can see how Alan did because this would be more centered to probably what you see in maps all the time. But for me, no, I didn't put two and two together until probably, I think, Sam, you brought it up before.
I just stare at maps too much. Whenever I can, I'll stare at the fucking map instead of talking to people.
See, where are all the sex offenders in my neighborhood?
He's always plotting something, that Sam. I got a pop when I actually found England. And, you know, England had a castle on it. It's the only thing it had was a castle on it, and the enemies were all witches. And I was just like, yeah, it seems accurate.
She's a witch.
But nobody found Canada, which is where that village you make is.
Yeah, that is actually Canada, and that is actually North America. So when you kind of go inland between the mountains and the rivers and stuff, there is a town that looks very Native American, and then the town that's being founded is very much a colony. It's like very on the nose.
On the nose, yeah. Just fucking spell it out for us, Jesus.
I mean, the pyramid is also a tell because that is like Ibis, and the pyramid is North Egypt.
Well, when I was playing the game, as I was playing the game, I did notice the different inflections in the way the text came out and the voices of the characters. You know, you hit this Italian town, and they're being very Italian, and it's just like my first thought literally was like, this is kind of like, I don't know if it's just Japanese style of like trying to show a world of diversity, but it's like they're really hitting some stereotypes here.
Yeah, I know.
That makes sense.
Like, it was so funny because I was like, Brian, did you see? Or like when I first brought up that it was like the actual world map, you're like, oh, thank God, it's not just racist.
It was just so like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing Indian people like this.
Yeah, there's an Indian village. There's everything. Yeah.
I just think it's just like a really neat little. It's almost like a little Easter egg.
Oh no! When you get the context of everything, it is really neat. But when you don't have the context, you're just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah. What other game did that? What? Oh shit! Illusion of Gaia had like basically that was
Illusion
taking
of
place
Gaia
on
did
Earth
the same
too.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool too.
Yeah, taking on a fantasy Earth that you end up turning into real Earth. Yeah, that game was fantastic.
That is a cool game.
We should revisit that. I want to play it again.
Well, no, we got to play different. What it was, Terranigma. Yeah, let's play a different one. That was a fun game. I'd play that again, or one like it, I guess.
Hey, look at that! We've got to the point of the show where we're planning future episodes.
Yeah, there we go.
There's our one per episode. I think one of the more obvious things, the more obvious differences between the two games that we played, is obviously how it looks. Now, I wanted to talk about that a little bit because, I mean, obviously playing the NES version, it shows its age, but I don't think, even like for the NES, I think this is a great looking RPG, and inarguably, like, with that 2D HD art style that you guys had going on there, it looked, from the pictures that you showed me, it looks absolutely gorgeous. But
it's
awesome. I think we have to shout out not only the sort of the graphics in this game, but also the art style and our man Akira Toriyama, because a lot of the enemy design and the character design, the enemy designs really come through and really show that quirky Toriyama style. Like, a lot of these enemies, even in the original, you look at them and just like, wow, that just looks like Dragon Ball, and I can't not love it for that.
Oh, I was mentioning to you before we started recording that, you know, one picture for Dragon Quest III looks like Goku's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
You know, not Kid Goku, like Teen Goku, that time between where he took off in the martial arts tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
this is what he was doing. He was traveling around.
You look at a lot of these enemies, like... Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's a shame that, like, the Akira Toriyama, like, elements to the art design were so toned down for, like, they didn't think that we were gonna like that in the U.S. or something. It's just like it's like the Mega Man box art all over again. Like we got the boring ass.
Oh, it
like,
is. Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
Oh, you
that's
mean
all I
like
had
the
to say about
case?
that.
I honestly think
Yeah.
there's like one guy who did all the box art for Nintendo back in the day, and he just got a buttload of money to fuck it up.
Don't. This is bringing me Dragon Power flashbacks all over.
Well,
And
no,
anyone
I like that's another prime example. Like that Dragon Power game. Like, yeah, maybe the game sucked, but like at least the Japanese cover is fucking cool. Ours sucked.
Yeah,
like
it really is.
Yeah.
But-
That can be said about like 90% of Japanese covers versus North
Yeah, pretty
American
much.
covers.
yeah.
True enough. But I just love that all of the enemies, like playing this game, like there are certain enemy types that come up, and I'm just like, I have definitely seen that character model in a Dragon Ball episode. That has
Yeah.
definitely been a demon in Dragon Ball, and it just has that familiarity to it. Like I knew that I wanted to play this series one day, and a big part of that was because just looking at especially for the later games, the cover arts and the art styles and those fucking little blobs, what were they called?
Slimes.
The
Yeah.
slimes. Those things are so adorable. How can you not?
They're
They're
love
iconic.
iconic now.
They are.
Yeah, it's
they
like
are.
they're the Pikachu of Dragon Quest.
Even I, who have never played a Dragon Quest game before, I was just like, I know what that is and where it's from. And yeah, this game, even on the NES, just is very nice to look at. And I'd love to play the your version.
Oh,
Because
definitely
I just know
do.
it's going to look that much more. Oh, I'm going to have to.
I'll be honest, after playing this one, I bought Dragon Quest 1 and 2 right away as soon as they came out. But after playing this one, there's absolutely no way I'll ever go backwards from here. Like,
No, this is the
graphically,
definitive version.
I said before the game came out that I was getting kind of bored of the 2D HD graphical style because Octopath Traveler put too much shine in it, or like blurriness in the foreground and background. I just thought it was
I
like
disagree.
gimmicky.
Oh,
Well,
it's so good.
I was getting tired of it. I don't
Yeah,
think
you're
it's
getting the
bad. I
fatigue.
just think it was
Yeah.
getting overdone. And then this game came out, and they friggin' upped it a level, and they
Mm-hmm.
nailed it. And it is gorgeous through and through. The scenery is gorgeous. The battle backgrounds are gorgeous. Everywhere you go is just so beautiful. And I can't go back to a Nintendo 8-bit version of this game. I don't think I could ever do it again.
No.
Yeah,
And maybe
I
that's
liked playing it this way.
I think that's probably in part what influenced my decision, not least because, I always like to see where games have sort of started, where they've come from. And, yeah, I thought the juxtaposition of opinions that we might have would make for interesting radio. I can see, looking at the remake there, just how polished it is, and it's taken what I spoilers already think is a pretty great game, and just really just updated it and brought it into the whatever century it is we're living in now. God knows.
21st.
Curse of a time traveler.
But I'm a true believer that a lot of these really old games that didn't get their due in the West really can be updated like this, and they will start making their money back quite easily
100%.
because. And I'm gonna credit Final Fantasy VII to this because it was the game that really put JRPGs on the map in North America or in the western side of the world. And now we're seeing an influx of these older games like the Final Fantasy collection. We got this game, and then just bring them up and let us enjoy these games that we didn't know about or just were too scared to try because they were too hard, and give us these quality of life improvements because, yeah, we're either Souls-like lovers or we're people who just want to play the story, and that's what this game does. It adds 3 difficulty levels. You get the Draki quest, the Dragon quest, and then the Draconian quest, which is easy, normal, and hard.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can change it through the game. Like I said, I was playing on normal because I wanted the normal challenge, but when it was getting too difficult, bumping down to easy for a bit
you had that option.
let me progress while enjoying the story.
Nice.
It can actually help you
Nice.
grind too, because like if you bump it down to
Yeah,
Draki just
that's
to
what
grind,
Mimosa
that's-
was.
Yeah, and then bump it back up or whatever, or don't. Who cares? Like play your games
Yeah.
the way you want to play them. Yeah, make
Yeah,
it more accessible.
Enjoy them how you enjoy them.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
This made me really look forward to Dragon Quest VII coming out. I have Dragon Quest VII on the PS1 sitting in my collection, and I've never actually played it. It's always been one of those I'll get to it when I get to it games.
Yeah.
And
We've all
I have
got
a
'em.
feeling it'll never be touched because I will buy the remake of Dragon Quest VII and I will play that through and through.
Dude, and that looks like a mix of like this HD style plus like that kind of claymation looking, you know, like
Zelda one?
Yes. Oh God, this looks so good. Like the 7, I'm so excited. That's a pre-order for me for sure.
So I mean, safe to say that, you know, Dragon Quest has a fan in Retrotopia.
For sure.
And this game, even in the NES version, I know it happens in yours as well, kind of has that shameless plug at the end where it's just like, well, now go and play Dragon Quest 1 and 2.
Oh, God, that was so
oh,
funny.
it does,
Because when
yeah.
you showed me the picture of the NES doing that, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. It's like straight from the NES version. I thought it was just like a cheap plug they were doing for the future
Yeah.
one because that you knew the third one was the first of the story, and
Yeah.
1 and 2 are the sequels to it.
Yeah.
And they had already planned the remake of all 3. They were just packaging 1 and 2 in a separate release, which makes sense. But
I mean,
man.
I now after this am definitely gonna play Dragon Quest 1 and 2. And I think I've got the NES version on my Switch of the first one, so I'll probably just play the original version. But playing it on the Switch will be neat.
actually, wait, do you have the that remake version that they did of 1, 2, and 3 on Switch? Because they not the 2D HD remake, but before that there was like a I don't think it was like a full remake. I think it was just like an up-res.
Yeah,
type
it
of
was
deal.
like a shovelware style game that you would see just show up. I saw them all the time, but I
yeah.
opted not to buy them.
I have them. I played
maybe-
1, and it looks kind of ugly actually.
Oh well. Either way, the point remains. It's like, having played this, I really want to go and play 1 and 2 now. And I'm assuming, like, now remind me, have the remakes of Dragon Quest 1 and 2 come out yet?
Yes.
Yes.
They have. And will you guys be playing them, or have you played them?
Yes. Once I finish
Yes.
this, and I'm still like I'm very close to the end. Honestly, I could probably do the end game now, but I plan to take my time, finish this one, and then go right into 1 because I just
Nice.
I want to replay it and I want to experience it
See-
in the new style.
When 1 came out, like when I picked it up, I booted it up right away, and I kind of need a moment to let Dragon Quest 3 marinate. Like, you ever have that where you play a game and you're like, this was really good, and then you start a new game and it's like, I know it's like related, but it doesn't really feel, excuse me, the same.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you just need a moment to let the other one kind of fade a little bit so that when you start this one up, you get that same feeling
I
of
get
starting
that.
up a great game again.
Especially
No,
with
right into the
RPGs, because
next
you
one.
you can definitely burn out on
I'm kidding.
RPGs. I mean,
Yeah, I
for
needed to
sure.
cleanse my palate with a bad game, so I started Final Fantasy VIII.
You
because I
shut
always
your
start a
fucking
Dragon
mouth.
Quest
You
right
shut your
after a
mouth.
Final Fantasy.
No, play Home Alone. That's on the schedule.
oh yeah, I've started Home Alone.
Yeah,
Oh, Home Alone.
God. Well, I get to play Home Alone, but I'm also going to be playing another game that's fun, so that's what's important.
Not to get too far ahead of things, but I started up Harvest Moon today as well, which, if people don't know,
Oh,
there's
that
gonna be
sounds
an episode coming
delightful.
up.
I want to. Oh, that's what I need after a game that can be stressful at times. Is like I just need a game where I can just plug away and have kind of low stress.
How's Devil May Cry going, Sam?
Oh, fuck that. Fuck.
We're not. No.
yeah, no.
We're not getting into that.
Oh. No,
So-
I
nope,
might
nope,
I might
nope,
change
nope,
my
nope.
opinion on it a little bit as I get used to it, but like dipping a toe, I was like I was having fun until I very suddenly was not.
Which is about the time he met a boss.
Yes.
So
Yes.
before we wrap things up here, music. Now, I got the distinct feeling while playing Dragon Quest. The music is, in places, very Zelda-ish, and I really like that. Now, I can only imagine that it's been improved exponentially on you guys. I mean, I'm sure there's all sorts of orchestral versions of the score and all of that good stuff, or at least I hope there is.
but
Um,
I don't hear the Zelda to it. That might have been an 8-bit Blinky Blink thing where they only had so many notes they could use.
it was
Yeah, because
definitely more in the underground sections that I got that vibe.
Okay.
But I really liked the music in this game. You know, I mean,
Oh, it's
It's
fantastic.
really good.
RPGs are like more or less known for having good music for the most part, anyway. And this did
Well,
not disappoint.
that theme song, the Dragon Quest theme song there, the way it played out, it was fantastic. Like I can't. Oh, it's probably going to be the opening song of this episode. So well, I'll make sure it is because we haven't edited it yet. So I'll make sure that's the song. But
It's
Exactly.
It's very distinctive. I would.
I didn't know you had a trumpet.
Oh, I do. Yeah. Yeah. That's my trumpet. I would like. I just think that the music in this game is so. It's like it's fancy. It's like refined. You know, there's not a lot of, you know, like a Final Fantasy or, you know, like some of the other RPGs will have like these like bop and battle themes where they're kind of like rock infused and they're kind of meant to like kind of like pump you up a little bit, you know. Dragon Quest is all
more
just
of a newer game thing.
yeah, I guess. Like, I mean, these games, like, it's very like you walk through the towns and it's like just like it's like a string quartet is playing for you when you're like walking around this king's castle. It's like I feel so fucking fancy right now. Like even the startup menu music when you're picking your save file, it's just like got this little light little. It's like, oh wow, this is just such a like just like a light fancy little soundtrack, little fancy boy
How
soundtrack.
delightful.
Yeah,
It is. It's delightful.
It makes you feel like you're in an RPG. Like that's the best way to describe it for me is the music. It's RPG music, and the dude who wrote it, or like dude who did the music there, Koichi Sugiyama, there has done like every Dragon Quest since, and I think with the way he composes, I really wish his name was better known, and he was up on the level of like Uematsu there.
Yeah.
And was the other guy Masuda? Fuck, I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyways, like there's others that have done RPG music for like Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, and all those types of games. This guy belongs right up there with them because his music is outstanding.
I love the fact that Brian is just like checking the names and everything like that as if we're gonna fucking know. It's just like you can say anything.
If you don't know Nobuo Uematsu, then
Oh, of course I know.
Of
course I know that one, but it's just like you could have said anything for anyone else. And I'd be like, yeah, that guy, yeah, good,
Yes.
solid body of work, that one. But no,
I like what
Brian,
you've done here.
like what you've done here, yeah. Absolutely, you could not have put it any better. I mean, this game sounds every bit like an RPG, and there are just certain scores, there's certain tracks, there's certain bits of music that just conjure up that feel of exploration and grinding and boss battles and things like that. And yeah, this game does it exceptionally well. I agree. Good point. Well made.
And no, don't forget Yuji Horii was also one of the creators of Chrono Trigger. So the guy was great from the beginning, and he's great to the end.
Of time.
And so was Akira Toriyama. Two of the people who made this game were directly involved in Chrono Trigger. Therefore, their Dragon Quest sits high upon the pedestal of games that are awesome.
Well, yeah, because there you go.
does.
No Dragon Quest, maybe no Chrono Trigger.
Although I
that
would
is-
say Chrono Trigger is definitely a more accessible game for
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, Chrono
anyone,
Trigger
like-
blends the best of Dragon Quest with the best of Final Fantasy.
I would agree.
And then gives it a boost.
We should do Chrono Trigger again.
Let's.
Yeah, I'd play it again.
I'm overdue. Anyone got anything else to say?
I don't think so.
Nothing huge except for the. I thought that. Okay, so this is a spoiler if you haven't played the game, and Alan already kind of alluded to it earlier. But when you beat the final boss, or who you thought was the final boss, then you post pictures in the private chat there with all your buddies, and like, I beat the boss, and you get a message back from Alan that says, "Did you?" with question mark.
Ain't I a stinker?
Yeah, because I really honestly thought I did. But here's the thing: is I finished Dragon Quest XI, and it does the same thing. You beat the boss, and you're like at this end game, and you're like enjoying this peaceful world, and all of a sudden this new boss shows up, and you have a whole other story to go through. And that's what Sam was talking about in the Underworld. I love that. I love the fact for two things. I love interactive endings where you take part in the ending and you get to kind of explore a little more before the credits roll. And I love the fact that this game wasn't over when you felt it was over. It was kind of like you had the satisfaction of beating it. And it was just like, hey, do you want more? You're like, yeah, I want more. Like, here you fucking go.
There you go.
And then there you are on another like 10-hour quest.
And I mean, I used the guide for the Underworld, and I ended up getting the ultimate hero sword or whatever, like the best sword in the game, and finding all kinds of hidden items that were really good. Like basically like the best I basically right now I have like the best loadout that I could possibly have because
yeah, you got the best load.
Yeah. But I basically followed a guide and just kind of like went bopping around place to place, and all the while I'm fighting battles and grinding, and so my levels are going up, but then also I'm finding all this cool shit. So
but at the same time, too, it also explains the story. Like, your dad is a famous adventurer, and that's how you're known, and that's why the king lets you adventure on, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But the Underworld part is where you find out what happened to your dad. So you can finish the game, and you could just turn it off and, go do something else. But you get the rest of the story by finishing the actual game.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it leads into Dragon Quest 1 and 2, which, again, are the sequels to this story.
Yeah, because as far as, and I don't know the lore, obviously, but as far as I understand it, the world that you go to, the second world that you go to, is actually the world of Dragon Quest 1 and 2.
I believe you are correct. I will confirm when I start Dragon Quest 1 and 2.
I think I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. But
yeah, because you're stuck there, right? And that person's a direct descendant to you. So
that is my understanding.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And I find it surprising, Brian, that you, the lord of RPGs at Retrotopia Towers, were taken off guard.
You know what?
But let me finish. But were taken off guard by a boss that turned out to not be the final boss of a game, only to be superseded by another final boss of an RPG, because find me an RPG where that doesn't happen.
Well, okay, explain in the lores of Final Fantasies or any Square, which is basically where my RPG experience lies, any Squares type game, where this happens in such a grandiose manner that you have a whole story behind it. I mean, Final Fantasy IV, not really, because he, what's his nuts there, your brother, just turns around and goes, I'm your brother, and I'm going to the moon to fight the real bad guy. And then at the last second, that real bad guy turns into another bad guy.
Was that X-Death?
No, you're thinking of 5.
I'm thinking of 5, aren't I?
Yeah.
5 or 3, I can't remember which.
I mean, 3 kind of does the whole world flipping thing where Final Fantasy 3, where it's like you have this world and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, there's another world. Like I'm just on
but it's not like but you don't fight a final boss to get to that other world. You just come out of a dungeon. It's like, hey, you should fly off the edge of the cliff. And you're like, okay.
I guess. But I mean, like, you are pretty far into the game where it's like, oh, I think I should be kind of wrapping up here. And then it's like, oh, no, there's a bunch.
But to the level of Dragon Quest to make you think you finished the game. And like I said, I played Dragon Warrior on the NES when I was young. And I was just like, RPGs are dumb. I'll never like these. And then I played Final Fantasy 2 on the Super Nintendo. Nevertheless, I've never played a game before Dragon Quest XI that just basically said, hey, you're done the game. Congratulations there, buds. Now we're going to have this like new super boss that you kind of see in Dragon Quest XI for the longest time. It's just like, let's not disturb the hornet's nest, and you leave it, and then all of a sudden it comes back and it blows open. It's like, hey, there's a new boss that's going to kill everything, and you have a more game to play. It just, I can't think of a game off the top of my head, and probably somebody's going to write in or DM me and just let me know I'm wrong. But yeah, in the world of RPGs, this doesn't happen too often. It's very Dragon Questy.
So I think what I'm getting is that it's not so much the bait and switch, which is par for the course in RPGs. What Dragon Quest
Yeah.
does well is sort of justify that and explain and sort of expand upon that final boss rather than just
Yeah,
like
like,
an arse pull. It sort of
Dragon
makes
Quest
sense.
Dragon Quest hands you the towel to clean yourself up and then goes at you for a second round.
Oh,
Well put.
magical cheese wand.
Yep.
Right. I think that's enough. Before
Well, since
Before we
we've
can
come
sneak-
full circle on the cheese wand, should we
Yeah.
Yeah,
wrap
right.
it up here?
I didn't even bring it up. You guys are
Well.
perverts.
Yeah.
well,
Well,
it's been
true.
said.
Yeah.
Brian, why don't you tell us what you thought of this game?
I get to go first. Yay.
Yep.
I got nothing.
Oh, well.
No. Okay, so kind of not my first foray into Dragon Quest. Obviously played Dragon Quest. I've played 8 up to a point. I've played 7 just to get the disc spinning, but I didn't really get very far into it. I went on a Dragon Quest, if you may, to actually collect at least one version of every game in the series. So I have Dragon Quest 1 through 11 now, only missing 10, and I believe 10 is an online game,
Yeah.
but don't quote me on that.
it is.
But really, really hard to find, and they're expensive. So my goal is to, before I die in like 5 years probably from a massive coronary, get through these Dragon Quest
Jesus.
games.
Don't
Well,
say
I'm
that.
not healthy, buddy. I'm like drinking beer as we talk.
Oh, that's
So
lame.
I'm not exactly on the road of health here. Anyways, long story short, stop interrupting me. I'm talking. But my goal is to play all these games, and Dragon Quest 3 solidified my resolve into doing that. So I am definitely jumping into 1 and 2. Like I said, I'm playing 8 right now. Once I finish a replay of 8, I'm going to go back into 1 and 2. That'll be my RPG I play. And I've resolved myself to have like one RPG on the go at all times. Simply because I find it easy to jump in and jump out of, especially when they're like a game like this, like the 2D HD remake gives you the quality of life improvements where they give you the map markers and the various levels of difficulty, so you can kind of progress through the game without getting frustrated. And that's a big point of this game. Like, I was not frustrated playing the game because of these quality of life improvements. Like, if you want to be a purist, go play the NES version like Alan did. There's nothing wrong with that. For me, I'm going to stick to these remakes. They look great. They sound great. The quality of life improvements are perfectly balanced. The fighting is a little bit of a noise. We really dived into that one, but it's not undoable. You just literally have to put in the time and you figure out patterns. So even when you do have these groups of enemies, they do repeat themselves, and you do learn these patterns and you learn how to take them down. It's kind of fun. So it's another point for this game. And the story is really good, as it is a prequel to 1 and 2. You learn all about this character, and you name this character, but in Dragon Quest 1, it's all about this other character and this other character's name. And at the end of this game, it talks about the legend of this character, and it turns out you're that character. Spoiler alert, sorry, but too bad. And it's done in such a way that it's so well presented, and then of course it splashes you that screen to go buy 1 and 2, and it was like that Hypnotoad from Futurama.
Yeah,
I immediately had to go out and buy them because I was on the fence at first. So there it is. I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm gonna circle the drain here, and I'm gonna be going for a while if I don't just wrap it up. But I'm gonna give this game a solid 9.5 out of 10. Like, this is on par with every Final Fantasy I've ever played.
Wow.
It is on par with games that use a 2D HD remake. In fact, I think it's actually better. They've improved the formula. 9.5 out of 10. That is my score. I need to drink more beer. My throat is dry as fuck.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, I guess I'll go next. Just to break up the 2D HD remake loving. Yeah, as I said off the top, I never played a Dragon Quest. This is my first and only experience with the series. And yes, I played it on the NES, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, obviously the remake is going to iron out a lot of the creases that I found while playing this, but even at its core, there's just something about an old retro RPG from back in the day that just hits. And as soon as I started playing this game, like, I knew what I was in for. Did I know I was in for the difficulty? Maybe not. I definitely thought it was going to lean more Final Fantasy than Fantasy Star. Yeah, I have to make sure I get that the right way around. But it just has all of the hallmarks of a great RPG. I was floored by just how much they'd managed to cram into this game. It is a big, big RPG. Like, I was thinking, maybe I'd spend 20 hours on this and be done. But between the main game and, I suppose, I don't really think of it as post-game because I think it's kind of essential for the story, but, that little bit at the end there, there's a lot going on in here. It does suffer from a lot of the, I don't want to call it jank, but a lot of the almost that Nintendo hard RPG style stuff where, you really have to be dialed in and paying attention to leveling up your team and grinding and getting the right gear and what have you, because, you can get yourself into a situation where you can just be unfairly just walloped. But I can't really knock it for that. That's just kind of a product of the time that it was made. The music is great. The visuals, I will always love that Akira Toriyama art style, and it really does come through in the enemy design in this. It gave me a pop whenever I saw something that looked like it may have been in Dragon Ball. It's just I'm suffering from Brian's problem there. Just talking round at myself because this is a large RPG. There is so much to talk about. So I guess I can't go as high as 9.5. Obviously, it doesn't necessarily have the polish of the remakes there, but I think I'm probably going to land on, I guess I'll give it about an 8. I was going to say 7.5, but I think I'm going to go for an 8 just because, I really enjoyed my time with this, and I am 100% going to check out other games in this series now. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Yeah, I am a Dragon Quest fan now. There you go.
Nice.
Yay.
Samuel.
All right. How do I follow that up? I don't have much to add as far as, what we've already talked about on gameplay. I think where I'm going to come around on this is there were parts of this game that really just like I will say like fucking pissed me off, and like you guys could attest to it. There was like that one night that I had beaten. I basically beat the top world and first got into the underworld, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I was not prepared for the game to just like kick my ass again. Like, at that point, when you get that far into a game and you're past what you think is kind of the end point or getting on towards the end point, like you don't really feel like you're going to have to grind a bunch. And I think that was only because my mindset was, I'm almost done with this game, and then I'll be able to put it away and give a full review on the show. And that was really not the case, because the underworld is very meaty. Like, I've probably spent a good 5+ hours of my current 40-hour clock that I've got into this game on the underworld. And it's because I went through and I've kind of fine-tooth comb, went through it, explored what I could, gotten items and upgraded upgraded my party and all that kind of stuff. And it was hard at first because the game it's almost like the game gives you a second game and resets things for you. So if you're in that mindset of like, I'm going to finish this game quick, you're not going to enjoy it. So I think that's where like I had to kind of change my mindset. I had to be okay with not finishing it and taking my time with it. And I'll probably play some tonight because now I got that itch again where I'm like, I got to get back to it, and I want to see it through and finish it up. So I will say that. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's difficult. I played it on Dragon, which is like the default setting, and I didn't bump it down to Draki, which I guess I could have or should have at points. But I do like that flexibility in the remake. Where was I going? I don't want to talk in circles either. I do enjoy this game. I think once I fixed my mindset a little bit, I think that my frustrations are more of a me problem than the game problem, because this is not this shouldn't be your first RPG for sure. This is more difficult than your average Final Fantasy game. This is more difficult than a Chrono Trigger. There are lists of very, very good RPGs that you can play to get a feel for kind of the style of gameplay. This one does things that make it more difficult than others. And while I at once appreciate it, and it is also infuriating when it's kind of fucking you over. So I'm going to give this, and obviously we've already gone through it. Can't say enough about how awesome the 2D HD remake is. If you're going to play it, that is the way to do it. The music, the graphics are excellent. There's voice acting in parts that are essential to the story, which is cool. I think gameplay wise, it perfectly bridges quality of life improvements while still maintaining that's difficulty of the original. So I'm going to give it Brian, what'd you do? 9.5?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Yes, I did.
I'm going to give it a 9. It is an excellent game. But like I said, I think the difficulty level makes it, maybe not your first, or if you're just if you don't really like RPGs, I don't think you'll really like Dragon Quest. Yeah, it's definitely niche. Like, you can see where, you can kind of see why maybe this didn't take off in the US. Like, people don't have the time or patience to sit through a game like this typically.
It's funny because these same people will play Soulborn or whatever it is.
Oh, right.
And, and they'll be like, this game's awesome because it's so hard. But do you get an RPG like that? Like, Japanese.
Different style, though. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely every time you get into a random encounter, you need to expect a potential chess match where you really have to figure it out. So, yeah, it's great. I'm gonna keep playing it. I would play it again. I will play 1 and 2. I'm looking forward to. I hope that these are continuing to sell well, and we just continue to get, this style of game or remakes like it. I'm all for it.
Excellent. So there we are. Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior 3. Retrotopia approved in all of its many forms. That was a good time. I think we should wrap it up and go home. What do you think, guys? Anyone got anything they'd like to say?
Yeah, we have a whole second podcast coming up now because, Dragon Quest.
Yeah, with an extra final boss. So so all of you guys listening, you better make sure you're grinding up, because you've got to fight the bonus final boss, which is Brian with his cheese wand.
It's a good staff.
Hi there, everyone. We here at Retrotopia couldn't do what we do without the support of our Patreons. And to that effect, we would like to shout out our heroes at the hero tier. So a huge Retrotopia thank you from all of the hosts here to Andrew Wright, Wildcard, Unbuckled Cape, Makeshift Money, Sergeant Ombre, Randy Berridge, BCOS19, J Nasty 15, Chris Kaplane, Jack Datchler, Sir Busts-A-Lot, Big Kid 782, Super Dave, Big Brown Dog, Stud Still Smash, Fallen Snow Kiku, Radmac, Calin Hygus, Old Man Gamer, Raging Demon, Radioactive Hooli, Blue Shell Discharge, The Big Deal, Dylan Jacobson, Game Genius, H, Brother Retro, Shane's World of Indoley, Brian Spritzer. So thanks as always for your support, guys. It truly means the world to us and means we can keep doing this little thing that we love so much. Game on.